In this episode, we're talking about productizing your services. Not your actual designs, but the way that you package and deliver and market them. Episode 16 of From Architecture to Profitecture. Stay tuned. Giving architects and landscape architects the tools and strategies to be seen, heard, and valued in the marketplace, and telling the stories of leaders building thriving design firms and attracting their ideal clients. This is From Architecture to Profitecture. I'm your host, Jay Krakowski. Let's get started. Fellow and future Profitex, hello. How are you? Welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about how we are marketing our design services. And specifically, I mean the media that we're putting out there, whether that's, yes, our proposals that we send out to folks, but also all of our social media, all of our website presence, and how we can begin to systematize those. Not only systematize them, because you've probably got systems built into your business, but also how can we turn those into products? Let me paint a picture for you. Actually, paint a picture with me. Imagine your favorite store when we used to be able to go to stores. I'm recording this May 21st, 2020. Some of the states in the US or parts around the world may still be shelter in place for COVID-19, but when we used to be able to go out shopping. My store has never closed. My favorite store, of course, is Home Depot. Not sponsored yet, but picture the sights, the rows and rows of building products, the smell of sawdust, the sound of that forklift 6 rows over as you're waiting for it to get done with that guy so it can come to you, but you know the beeping's getting closer. I'm painting a picture of the store, and maybe that's a clothing store for some of you, maybe that's an electronics store, camera shop, whatever it is, paint that picture. And as you're going down the aisles and you're seeing the different products, maybe you've come to your aisle, your place in the store, there are a range of things available for you to solve your problem. Now, depending on the severity of your problem, depending on where you are in solving that problem, there are different products. There are different products at different price points, all packaged differently, all with the intent of catching your eye differently and getting you to make a purchase. And while that might seem a little crass, might seem a little off-putting for us to think about our design services in that manner, really we need to think of it as customers buying a product, and can you catch their eye? How do you transmit to them that you are the right one to solve their problems? So today, in talking about productizing your services, I'm not talking about the actual pen to paper or mouse to mouse pad, or in my case, stylus to Wacom tablet. I'm talking about how we're packaging our marketing and the way that we're delivering the proposals, the way that we're delivering our lead magnets, our freebies online, our initial meetings, and then, yes, the construction documents, and yes, the follow-up and construction work. But talking about having different quote unquote products in your arsenal, in your firm's repertoire, and in their back-end systems for the different points in your client's journey. So that, the main question to ask yourself in starting to think about it in this way is, where is your ideal client in the journey, in their journey with working with you? And they may not even be working with you yet. They may not be aware that you exist. They may not be ready to pull the trigger on that renovation project, on that custom home, on that office expansion, but they are in your journey. It's a mindset thing. I want you to think of your ideal clients and that they are already on the way, on their journey to work with you, and where are they? So there's different products that we can develop to capture them at different points. The first being obviously in building their awareness that you even exist as a firm, as a designer, as a human. The freebies that we put out online, and yes, social media posts, that's a freebie. It's a freebie for them. It's time for us, but it's a freebie for them, as are those lead magnets, those monkey's fists, as they're sometimes called, that you put out online, download my free PDF in exchange for your email address. Well, have you given a clever name? Can you be catchy? Can you be kitschy? Use alliteration. That's another big one. Those were all, hard C sounds, but can you give a name to it? Not just custom home guide, not just lobby expansion information guide. Let's get salesy about it. To be frank with you, let's use alliteration. Let's use, if you're marketing locally, if you work in a particular, try to keep your work in a particular city or region or state. Can you play on that? If you work primarily at the beach, can you play on the feelings that are evoked where someone's trying to build or renovate on or near the beach? Can you give a better branded name to the freebies that you're putting out there? Other kinds of freebies, could be, are you hosting office hours? Now, I know we can't do that in person at the moment for the most part. Are you hosting open office hours? Are you hosting events? Are you sponsoring events? And can you begin to brand those, so it's not just come on by and ask me whatever questions you want, but can you give it a name and give it so that you're starting to build marketing collateral, so that your social media posts or your blog posts or your email newsletters have got a consistency, have got a rhythm, have got something where they are showing up to an event, and that feels special, and that begins to capture their interest. And along those lines, similar to what I'm doing here with you now, live streams like this, Q&A sessions, whether you're asking a question, say from 4 to 5, I'll be on my Facebook profile, or I'm going to be doing an Instagram live, or I'm doing a YouTube premiere where you can be in the chat before your YouTube video goes live. Can you market those as an event and again begin to build awareness long before you've sat down for an initial meeting to discuss their programming and the elements of their project brief and what they're looking to achieve, and certainly before you put out any sort of formal design proposal? How can we begin branding that? Then, once you get them in the door, once you get them on the phone, once you get them on a Zoom call, whatever it is, your first phase or phases, and every firm's different, so that's why I threw up on the screen here, programming, concepts, analysis, whatever you do in your first phase of working with someone, do you give a name to that? Just as an example, I have my first phase when working with residential clients, it's the renovation review. And at the end of it, they get a renovation review report. Again, alliteration. It works. I'm telling you, it works. They've got an 11 by 17 book. It has a site analysis. It has a code review. It has concept sketches. It has ballpark construction costs, very conservative. Someone's gonna flame me on that in the comments, saying that I shouldn't be doing that. I do have training, construction management, and work in it. So I give big ballpark numbers with my designs. And then an outline of what the next steps are going forward. It's not a full design proposal, SDDDCD. It's just a brief overview of what's to come. And so they've got that booklet. And then when we meet again to go through the concepts and go through the constraints, then they have an idea of what's coming next. We can talk about it. I can gauge their comfort level long before I go through and write out all the full legalese for them. I don't just send that, because I like to have more of a back and forth. So that's how I work that. So next phase in this, obviously, you're getting into detailed design. You're getting into schematics and design development, and then construction documents and whatever involvement you have through the construction process. Can you, even if it's putting a title on top of your formalized, your detailed design proposals, with all that legalese at the back end, can you give some sort of name or branding to it so that it's not, so it's a little easier for clients? And this is especially goes for the residential side of things, I know, but it could work for even small commercial, where it's they don't have it's not a large corporation with a legal team in the background that's reviewing your documents, but there can be more of a familiarity to it, something that they can easily digest, just like, again, that packaging on the shelf at Home Depot, your color and font and branding, and the problem that they're going to solve for you, it's all branded. I know I keep overusing that word in this episode, but that's really what we're talking about here, is adding that element of branding to everything you do, not just the title block on your drawings, not just the logo that you worked to put onto your business cards, but really every part of your business. It's not just the systems, but it's also the look and the brand name that goes with it. And then one idea that I wanted to talk about with you is potentially after the work is done, after the show, so to speak, as you're starting to feature projects on your website, on your house profile, in your social media posts, is there a way to brand those, whether it's project of the month? I know a lot of folks do that, or project of the week. Maybe that sounds generic to you, and it might sound generic to your potential clients too. Is there a way to do something around holidays or around each month to do something, again, catchy or kitschy? It sounds catchy or kitschy, but it can work. I mean, why not? And you have to obviously determine the level that you're willing to go with it. But giving something more to those quote unquote standard marketing pieces that maybe we've fallen into, the humdrum, the routine of putting out there because we feel that we need to. Well, let's shake things up. And the same goes for client testimonials. Can there be something more than just client stories? Something more interesting, and maybe the client feels comfortable having a name and face involved, and maybe they don't. But there are ways where you can maybe explain, whether you set the stage like I did at the start of the show, talking about the smells and sounds of Home Depot. Maybe you're talking about the personality of this client and what struck you about it from the start, and how that influenced your design, or how that influenced the working relationship. Can you tell a story that way? And then can you market those stories in a certain way? Say every Tuesday on your Instagram, you're giving story ABC XYZ, and it's the same every week. And therefore people get to, as you hashtag and promote those Instagram posts in the right way, do people start to anticipate those Tuesday posts coming out? So those are 4 ideas that I've been kicking around, and that I've implemented, not fully, but started to in my business. Certainly the initial phase of working with someone, I feel like I've got a clear brand for that, depending on the type of project that's going on. But that's something to think about, certainly. So in talking about productizing, I also want to talk about productizing your firm as a whole. And if that sounds scary, well, I'm talking about personal branding in a way. So the best way that I can see to productize you as a design professional, and honestly as a human being, is video just like this. And the best platform for that is YouTube. So in response to a lot of comments I've gotten since starting I have 2 YouTube channels over the last several years, and how it's helped me to gain even design clients. How in the first few months of starting a YouTube channel, I saw a 5-figure return on that time investment. And yes, it was a big time investment, but I learned a lot, and I want to share that with you. So I am hosting a small session. It's training as much as discussion. I'm also talking to different YouTubers in the architecture and design space, trying to get them involved too. Hopefully you can be on live. If not, absolutely catch the replay and submit your comments and questions. But going to be hosting a series, YouTube Basics for your design firm. And that's starting at the very beginning. That's talking about what your intent in even starting a YouTube channel could be, and the mindset that goes into that, even the basics of the tech, talking about content planning, to start to get a grasp on, is this the right platform for you? I think it's the right platform for everyone, because it's the long game, especially if you want to build success as a personal brand. and as a design business. But second, it's productizing you, and I don't mean that in a bad connotation, but it's obviously video can be forever if you leave it on the platform. So long as Google's around, it's going to be around. But you've got that presence where especially if you're working, say, in a local area and you're tagging your local area on videos, when someone searches architect in Milwaukee, that's my favorite go-to search term for some reason or another. Again, I've never been to Milwaukee. When someone searches architect in Milwaukee and you are putting out videos, there's a longevity there, where they're not running down a Facebook feed, certainly not down an Instagram or Twitter feed where it's moving a mile a minute. And with as low as the organic reach is on Facebook and Instagram, I think Instagram's down to 2 or 3%, even of your followers or your subscribers. If you have 100, only a handful are actually seeing your posts. But YouTube is there. If you can put specific search terms and tags, and you put forth that content, it's evergreen. It's always promoting you, even while you're sleeping, even while you're picking up your kids at daycare, even when you're making dinner, or when you're at work. So I do want to invite you to that again next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Any questions on, or any ideas on how you might be able to productize your initial marketing, your freebies, in your initial meetings with clients? Maybe it's not just a discovery session. Maybe you have some fun name for it. Why not? And then moving into your initial phases of design and analysis, and then through the detailed design and the marketing on the back end. Can you brand it in a way that is more than just our standard industry terms, more than just a standard guide to ABC XYZ? So love to hear your comments there, whether that's below this video, or you can send me a message, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I never check Twitter, so you can try it though, at Jake Krakowski. And go ahead and make it a great week, because our success is inevitable. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you stay up to date with future episodes. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Jake Krakowski. And for show notes and much more, visit profitecturebydesign.com/podcast.